Hi, my name is Charlotte Dunn, and I'm currently completing a placement with Business in the Community Northern Ireland as part of their environmental team. And the placement is a sort of integrated part of my master's course in sustainable development. I'd finished my undergraduate degree in July, and I just still didn't. It was COVID, everything was going on. I had no idea what kind of jobs I was still after finishing my degree, what kind of jobs I wanted to apply for, the kind of outcome on how, and also how to spend this year that we were kind of going to be in lockdown for a lot of it. So the course at Queen's University is really sort of flexible and a really interactive course that you got to complete 2 placements, and the 2 placements had to be in completely different sectors. So I just really like the fact that I could do this placement, which is in the environmental team at Business and Community, and my second placement is going to be in something completely different. So it's going to give me a lot of opportunity to work out what kind of role that I want to sort of be in and what things I enjoy, and also just meet lots of different people. Initially in high school, I just really enjoyed geography as a subject, as what I kind of felt most confident in, and I like the fact that it's a really broad subject. You kind of got the human aspect of it and also environmental, sort of more sciencey aspect of it. And when you're applying for university, you don't need to decide at that moment whether you're going to be a sort of social science route or environmental route. So I like the fact that I could kind of work that out once I got to university. And the reason I decided to go to St Andrews was because the course is really flexible. So in first year you do 3 different modules each semester, and you can do a total range of subjects to find out which kind of ones you want. So I was doing sort of history, psychology, sustainable development, international relations, and it's a really sort of first year is really that way that you got to just try out different subjects. And after first year I decided to do a joint honours in geography and sustainable development. I just really enjoyed sustainable development as a subject. Obviously it's a really important subject in kind of world facing the climate crisis, and there's also a lot of sort of social aspects behind it, and so that's why I decided to sort of switch to that subject. I still kind of throughout my 3rd and 4th year had such a varied, every like module is completely different, and sort of you could be doing something about like the American-Mexico border, or you could be doing something about climate change in Africa. It's so different. So it's a really just broad subject, and you get to pick and choose, and there's a lot of flexibility there. The master's course in sustainable development is more focused onto how sort of organisations and businesses, and a more sort of practical way forward of how to apply sustainable development in the real world, because it's quite easy when you're sort of writing essays to be like, this is the most important thing ever and everyone should care about it as much as I do. Yeah. So the master's is more how can we kind of practically bring business concerns and economic concerns into moving forward in sustainable development. It's a very broad subject, so you need to quite like, it's not, if you like routine a lot, it's not really the subject for you, because everything's so different. You're constantly doing new things and learning new things. Geography as a field in university, you learn like the sort of basics of technological softwares as well, if you choose to. But you're also writing sort of essays, and I think that kind of applies in the jobs that you're applying for, because sustainable development and environmental concerns so interlinked with also social aspects, so you really need to be coming from like a really broad perspective. So if you like to do new things, talk like new kind of, if you like to have a sort of broad and interesting perspective, it's a good role to have. I would say sort of first up, try and keep your confidence. It's very easy to sort of come and feel a bit of imposter syndrome, especially if you're going to a university that's not in the same city as you. you're sort of meeting from people who've come from all different schools and backgrounds. And it might be quite easy to sort of shy out and not speak out in your tutorial groups because maybe other people sound like they know more about you and you lose your confidence. But if you just sort of stick at it and try your best to remember that a lot of people sometimes it's a lot more of the time it's more of a confidence issue than you've got into university for a reason. They have chosen you, they've read your personal statement, looked at your grades, you deserve a place to be there. Just always remind yourself that you are completely capable, the fact that you're there. And a sort of other thing is it took me till third year to realise that there's actually a lot of resources at the university. You can go and get a sort of book in a private tutorial at the studies. Like most universities have sort of one-on-one help where you can get yourself reminded basic essay skills that you might have forgotten if it's not been since third year that anyone's taught you that. There's a lot of resources that you can use, so use them. It's perfectly okay not to know what you want to do, and you sort of don't need to listen to what other people think is maybe the best route. It's quite easy when you're in high school to be like, I'm going to be a lawyer, I'm going to be an accountant, and I kind of always knew I didn't want to do any of those things, but I had no idea what I did want to do. So I couldn't sort of reply to people and say, this is what I want to do. Which is perfectly okay because there's so many jobs that young people will be in that probably don't even exist yet. Like their jobs are changing constantly, so you don't need to know the exact field that you're going to be in, and just be sort of confident in that you sort of do what you enjoy and find interesting, and if you sort of work hard, different opportunities, and you can never really predict what's going to happen. It's important to sort of relax and be yourself and talk about your own experiences from sort of truthful point. And in order to do that, the more experiences you have outside of university, like your coursework, if you have, say, part-time jobs, or if you've got different work experience opportunities throughout your summer holidays, even just a few day placement here to try out different things, it just means that you'll have so much more to talk about when you're in the interview, and it kind of comes across much more naturally because you are actually talking about your own experience and you're not trying to make up something that's happened that you think the employer wants to hear. So if you just get involved in different clubs and different opportunities that are there, you'll automatically be more confident when you're applying for jobs. I really love to go travelling, sort of by myself. I like to sort of make up routes as I go along, and I sort of have had part-time jobs right the way through uni to sort of try and enable me to do that and try out different volunteering sort of activities that are available. Just love that. For my undergraduate dissertation, I flew to Bali by myself to do a survey and a big study on the plastic pollution in Bali. So I was there for a month, just talking to different people, going to different beach cleans and interviewing Balinese people and also a lot of tourists, and sort of wrote my kind of dissertation. Again, it was quite, I say nerve-wracking but exciting. When I went out there, I didn't know what I really was going to write about, and then just once you're kind of there and talking to different people, the ideas and for your dissertation, my dissertation kind of came together. So the sort of overall output was looking at the impact of beach cleans in Bali. I'm currently applying for graduate jobs. I would really like to go and work and live in London. Never lived, or I think I've been to London for a weekend, but I just think it would be a really fun, kind of exciting way to spend sort of 5 or 6 years, or who knows, maybe longer, maybe shorter. I'm sort of applying mainly for rotational graduate roles, which there are quite a lot of, which means that you sort of will do 6 months different rotations of 6 months where you try out different departments within an organisation. I'm kind of hoping that at the end you'll I know that by the end you'll sort of start to get more of an understanding about what I feel confident and what I really find interesting. And after that, who knows what I'll end up doing, but it's a sort of exciting, I think, career in environmental and sustainability is really, there's just so many different routes. It's such a complex and huge topic that I kind of have no idea what I'll end up getting in, but I think the different opportunities will sort of present themselves to you, and you can meet more people and find out about different job opportunities or even jobs that exist just from talking to different people.